Hi, welcome to the part 4 of this video series. For questions 1 to 21, please refer parts 1 to 3. In this part of the video, we will look at some more questions. Please remember, these are all real exam questions, or it is very much similar to the real exam questions. The idea is, please focus on the concepts. You may or may not get similar questions in the exam, but the key is, if you understand the concepts, you would be easily able to clear the exams. Please subscribe to my channel and like my videos. This keeps me motivated to put in more informative content. This channel is totally focused on clearing cloud certifications. And if you see in most of the comments of my past videos, there are a lot of people who have cleared the exams successfully. This channel is very different from other channels because here I teach you how to decode the options and identify the right answers. Now let's jump into the questions. So you have a database with two nodes, SQL1 and SQL2. This is a primary one. So you have to do a full backup of the entire DB1 in SQL2. There's the question. So here we have 4 options for backup database to URL. Now the first option says, if you see, all the statements are same except for this one, differential copy only file snapshot no init. See, no init when we use is, if you already have a backup and you want to append to that backup, then you use no init. If you don't want to append, then you use init. But here we want to take the full backup. So full backup, you see this it says full backup. So no init will not work. Differential is where you have a database backup, then you take the next set of backup where the next set of data comes in, and you keep appending to it. So that is not a question here. You want to take whatever is there in DB1 to SQL2. So differential will also not work. So here we have nullified options A and D. Both are wrong. Now you have two options, copy only and file snapshot. File snapshot, what it does is, it takes a full backup, but it takes it in the form of files and puts it in Azure Blob Storage. But that is not a requirement. You have to put it into a database. That's why we'll go with copy only. Copy only will take, it has an option for full backup also. It will take the full backup and put it in SQL2. So if you see this, there are types of copy only backups. You have full backups is here, and copy only log backups is also there. So there are two options. So the answer is this, copy only for full backups, because our question is asking about full backups. Hence option B is the right answer. We will lock this answer and move forward. Let's look at question number 23. So in this question we have a scenario where you have 200 GB databases and you need to dynamically scale the resource consumption based on workload. So these are the 4 different examples of SQL Server. So dynamic scaling is an option available almost in everyone. So suppose if you have virtual machines, then you can use scale sets to dynamically scale it. Okay, similarly, database managed instance also provides you these features. But if you have multiple databases, in that case, we should go for database elastic pool, because elastic pool, what it does is, it will help you dynamically scale the resources with minimized downtime. And the other thing is, it is cost effective. So anytime, even though the question is not asking about cost, but you should always factor in cost. The solution should, from a certification perspective, it is always better to think about cost, even if it is not explicitly mentioned. From a cost perspective, this will be a shared sort of database. So you will have a pool of, the databases will be sharing the resources. So there will be 2 databases, a pool of 2 databases, 100 GB each. And then the scale up and scale down can happen dynamically with very minimal downtime or no downtime. This is the right option. So we should lock option A as our answer. Let's move to the next question. Now this is a question. Have a look at the question. So if you read this question carefully, you will come to know that this is a backup related question. Whenever there is a backup related question, the answer should be related to the backups only. Okay. So option D, the SQL Server agent job, is just a list of jobs. So if you want to automate and run certain scripts at a particular time, then you can use it. You can also have backup related scripts and you can schedule it and you can use it, but then this is not a primary tool for backup. This is not a part of your backup strategy. It's not a primary tool. Hence we will omit this. This doesn't seem to be the right answer. Let's look for a better answer. Azure Site Recovery. So as the name suggests, this is used for disaster recovery. Whenever there is a name called recovery, that's a disaster recovery, and backups are not for meant for that. See, for a disaster recovery, there is a separate environment where if one side goes down, the other side should automatically come up. So it depends upon what is the kind of RPO you have set and RTO you have set. That is recovery time objective kind of thing. Here we are talking just purely about backup, so that's why C and D is not right, because D is just a job. Even if you don't know the answer, just guess it. Option D is it's a job. Job is used to schedule, automate, and run anything. It can be anything. It can be writing to a database. It can be taking a backup, and etc. Anything. So this does not directly relate to this question. Option C suggests site recovery. This is related to disaster recovery. It is not related to backups. So we are left with only two options: automated backup in SQL virtual machine settings and Azure backup. So Azure backup is a better answer than option A. So if you see the screen, Azure backup service, it provides simple, secure, and cost-effective solution to back up your data and recover from Azure cloud. From where can you back up? From all of these places: on-premises, Azure VMs, HANA databases, etc. See, now you might ask a question: why not A? A will also do the same thing. But the problem is, the question is asking is a centralized management of the backups. What you are doing is, you are going into each in Azure. So you have 10 Azure virtual machines. You will go into each virtual machine and do this setting. This is not a centralized way of managing things. Centralized way of managing things is always Azure backup. That's why B is the right answer. Let's move to the next question. Question number 25. Have a read. Like we saw in some of the previous videos, you have two databases. You want to take this copy here and put it here. Okay, like I explained, this way the solution is explaining here that you use a restore transact SQL command and replace option. This is the right answer, because this is the right way of restoring and replacing. So we will mark our answer as yes and move forward. Let's see question number 26. Please have a read. Now the question is saying is, if there is a failover happening, so you should provide a strategy which will help you replicate the database to a Azure region. So for example, one region totally fails, so you want to move to the next region, and that move should happen without changing the connection strings, and you should support failover to a secondary region. So in this case, what option would suffice? I would say failover groups. Failover groups is designed for this purpose, because in failover groups you don't have to change the connection strings, but in other three options you will have to change the connection strings. So if you see the documentation, it clearly says use auto failover groups to enable transparent and coordinated failover of multiple databases. So this can be done in a different region also. Like I told you, don't have to change the connection string. So in order to do that, there is a set of settings. You can have a read at this section. So let's look at the availability zone. If you see, the availability zones is all the AZs are in one region. If you do a switch from one AZ to other AZ, it will not work. Why it will not work? Because the region itself has collapsed. There is a failure, and you have to do a failover towards secondary region. So AZs will not work. C is totally wrong. Geo replication, D, option D. See, you use geo replication if you want to create a readable copy of a secondary database. A readable secondary database of the individual databases. If you want to do that, either in the same or a different data center or a region. Okay, this is something which it is not going to activate when you're doing a failover. If one region fails, then other gets active. This is not for that purpose. Normally we do geo replication because if someone is in USA and they have business users in Great Britain, so we want to bring the data for Great Britain close to Great Britain. That's why we use geo replication. See, if you see transactional replication, the purpose is totally different. It is not used for cross-region replication or moving the data across region or failover, but it is used suppose if you want to replicate a data from a table in either SQL managed instance or a SQL Server instance, then you can move it to tables placed on remote databases. That is possible. Very different purpose. So what you can do, you can put it on a SQL database on premises or on VM, or a database on SQL database or on managed instance. Hence, we will lock option A as our final answer. So I request you to subscribe to my channel, because we have reached the fag end of this video. Please subscribe to my channel. This keeps me motivated to put on more contents which are very informative to clear certifications. I don't create these content unless I myself have cleared the certifications and I know the content in and out. See you in the next part of this video series.